What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Heat Detector, and this is the check in. Um, I'm going to give the disclaimer while I do the privacy settings, like always. Let me get get through that. Um, Trying to multitask here. Okay, so as you know, if you dream of butterflies, unicorns, and rainbows, and running through fields of cotton candy, this is probably not the show for you. If you're thin skinned, easily offended, this is probably not the show for you. But you probably should stay. There's probably some things that you should hear. We're not here to offend anybody. By no means do we ever want to offend anyone or try to offend anyone. The language just may be a little harsh because truths are harsh. Life is harsh, and sometimes that's the only way to drive the point home. Sometimes. But we're not here to offend anybody. I'm neither a counselor or a therapist. I'm just a man on a damn journey, wanting to be better and do better by people and by myself. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I hope that you stick around. If you don't stick around, go to another channel. You don't. There's no need to report us or anything. Go somewhere else and watch something else. Point blank. Period. Because it's really about accountability. It's about giving people tools and understanding to get the help that they may need, or maybe they'll hear something on this show uh, and pass on some information to somebody else. And with that being said, I'm your boy Heat Detector once again, and this is the check-in. Tonight we're going to talk about forgiveness, but before we do all that, I have my man's right here. You see him with the black hoodie on. I was about to say the black man with the black hoodie. My bad. Uh, but go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. Brother, thank you for having me on the show again, man. I'm Tony Lynch. I am a men's grief coach. You guys have seen me on the show before. You know, I am the founder of the nonprofit Members of Us. I'm the host of the podcast Grief. Let's talk about it. I'm an author, program designer, and I help create space for men um, to be able to not only be supported, but be able to connect and be able to um, have a space to where we can actually start healing and be around other men that have gone through similar things.
Right. That's it. That's the whole shebang.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
All right. And right
That's
next
the
to
whole
him,
shebang bang.
all right. And right next to him, you want to tell him who you are, sir?
Yeah, thank you for having me on here. I'm Lincoln Cade. I'm a civil rights activist, social advocate, um, victim of police brutality. So do a lot of civil rights towards police brutality, homelessness. Just trying to make this world somewhat a better place. You know, trying like I was telling you earlier, uh, be
Hold
part
on.
of
Let me
the
stop you real quick.
solution,
Let
not
me
the
stop you
problem.
real quick. Let me stop you real
We
quick.
don't have enough kindness.
Bro, let me stop you real quick. Because one thing that really yanks my motherfucking chain is when somebody says trying. We don't try. We do. Period. Just be mindful. I'm not getting on your case, but I'm what I'm doing is giving you some information.
No. I respect that.
Yeah, so like
I respect that
when you
because I
remove
do
the
the same
word
thing with people when
try,
they say
when you
it.
when you remove the word try out of your vocabulary and out of
Yeah, so
discussion,
so I'm out here
it
doing.
makes you it
So
makes
I'm out
you
here doing what I can to.
no, you're doing it. Period.
So I'm out here doing what I can to
There you
be
go.
to be
That's what I'm talking about.
part of the solution, not the problem.
Right. So you ain't trying to do shit. You're out there doing it. You have your feet planted in the
Yes.
in the mud, and you're doing the work. See, you ain't trying to do shit. You're doing it. And
Yes.
again, I'm not trying to
No,
be
I respect that.
disrespectful. I'm not trying not
Hey, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no, no,
being
no. You ain't.
disrespectful or anything like that.
Hey, not at all.
Yeah, but I just that's kind of like
Not at all. Hey,
one of my
no, I
little
get on.
things.
Hey, I get on people for that too.
Yeah, it's important. I think because we begin.
Trying is a setup. Trying is a setup for failure, not
Yeah.
anything else.
Oh, see, so you already know. All right. Well, then, shit.
I'm already knowing. Yeah.
Hold on. We got some chats already. Shout out to Microphone Misfits. Dina, glad you got better disclaimers. Disclaimer growth. Still got a ways to go, but better. Hey, man, look, as long as people get an understanding of what it is that we're doing over here and accomplishing over here, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's a work in progress, man. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the input. And Fan Bow Podcast, my man's. Happy holidays to everybody. Stay safe, and stay positive, my man. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna put the link in the chats, so anybody that sees the link and you feel like you want to come in and be a part of the discussion, feel free. My man's, I'm sorry. You can go ahead and finish, man. My bad. I all of a sudden just got caught up in a whole bunch of other stuff.
I'm not. That's all good.
Yeah.
So I'm just out here, hitting the pavement and trying to make this my community a better place. It's just seen it last 20 years. Just seems like it's crumbling. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As a man, it's our job to take care of our community. So you know what I mean. That's what I'm out here doing.
And that's very commendable. Because it takes a lot to be able to, to have the wherewithal and the gumption to get up and do that kind of stuff, man, especially to be an advocate and to do things for the community. And because a lot of people say a lot of things, but they don't do jack, so I commend you on that.
Yeah,
man.
I see a lot of that,
You.
I see a lot of that, but I mean, fortunately I had a grandfather, that was a Black Panther, and so I was brought up with the civil rights and being taught to, being kind to others and taking care of our communities. You know what I mean? So I'm just following in my grandpa's footsteps.
Word. So today's topic is forgiveness, and what does that look like, or what does it feel like to you, or how does that work for you? In either one of you, if you want to start off, what forgiveness means to you.
I touched on that earlier, actually, with somebody. I've come to learn that forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about forgiving somebody for our own, so we don't go through the struggles and the headache of the always dwelling over something, and so we can let it go. And it hasn't always been an easy thing. I've been learning as I go. I try not to have animosity anymore. I think I broke it down. Now I just got the mindset is I want to see everybody eat, just not everybody can eat at my table.
Yeah, I can definitely I can definitely relate to that. What about you, Mr. Lynch?
Yeah, man. I agree. I want to add to what my man said. Because I had to. I learned how to forgive people from all the things that not only that they had done to me, but I had to learn how to forgive myself for the things I had done to other people.
Right.
And it was just one of those things. It was necessary. It was necessary, so I didn't carry that weight along with me, that animosity, and it helped me not be so angry with people. It helped me not be so volatile with individuals, because with that came an understanding that every person that walks this earth has a path, right? And I may not understand it, but it's their path, it's their truth, right? And so that's what it was about for me, man. And I think we all have our own personal stories when it comes down to that. Like, geez, man, forgiving the main one for me was my son's mom, forgiving her for the things that she had did to me. Although I knew that in her mind she thought that she never did anything wrong, which is fine. You know, that's her truth. Uh, um, and I never expected anything back from her.
Right.
You know, yeah,
Fan Bam Podcast says we
man,
need more
that's
mental health therapy programs for people who won't make fun of them and show them the rope of healing. I don't. I don't think mental health
yeah,
therapy programs make fun of people, but I mean, damn, if they do, that's a fucked up ass program. Um, but I don't know. We got
man.
to check in. We ain't gonna make fun of you. You might get cussed out if you say something, but
I,
we're
I,
You
definitely not
know,
I
gonna make fun of you.
I think one of these programs need to be ran by people that actually dealt with mental health issues themselves instead of people that are based off books and learned off it. That I think that's part of the problem that I noticed out here.
Well, not. Let's just for a disclaimer. Not all of these places do those kinds of things, or that there are crooks or anything like that. There's some good people out there, just like in every job, doing great work and doing the best that they can every day. One bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch. But just
Oh
that's
no,
listen.
I
true.
wasn't saying crooks. I
Go
wasn't
ahead.
saying crooks. What I meant by that was like when you get people that are based off just what they've learned out of books. Uh, I don't. I Me just personally with having mental health issues myself, um, have trouble with it because I don't think they understand a lot of what we go through like somebody would that deals with mental health issues themselves that can help, that's able to help somebody that's healed to a point to where they can help somebody.
Well, as long as you go into any type of therapy, to understand and know that they're not there to heal you or anything like that. They're there to give you the tools so you to understand how to heal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not. They don't
yeah,
have the magical pill or anything like that. That is going to get you out of that jam or whatever. I mean, you have to really put in the work yourself. They just give you the tools and give you the understanding of the some of the issues that you may or may not be going through. You know what I mean? And then it's up to you to
Yeah.
actually do the 1+1 = 2. You got to do the math and do the work yourself because it's easy as hell to not do nothing, and it's
mm-mm.
extra hard to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's extremely difficult, but as my boy D Nick says, is the steak worth the sizzle? And for me, getting my mind clear and being able to have critical thinking and being able to breathe through situations and stuff like that, man, that steak is worth the goddamn sizzle to me. So all day long, I
Right,
choose I
right.
choose the hard work, and yeah, but
Can I add to that?
mm-hmm,
Okay, so I do understand, and talking from a place where I am involved in the mental health field, as well as grief and trauma and recovery, all of those different things, and had to go through some certain things. I think where the struggle or where the biggest problem lies, you get too many people that get into the field of mental health because it's a great idea,
mm-hmm,
right? um and the problem is that they get into it but they have no lived experience. And again, I'm going to speak from my perspective.
right,
When a person has gone through the struggles of mental health, it helps them relate to the people that come in, right?
mm-hmm,
Because there's no, they realize there's no cookie cutter. There's no cookie cutter formula that goes along with it, so they're more adapted to figuring out what works for that individual instead of trying to group them with everybody and saying, hey, this is the way that it works, and there you go. So I guess in a long story short, man, we need more people to come in that have gone through it, to sit down individually with individuals and come up with different things that work for them. Because as you begin to heal in your mental health, so does what you need,
Right.
right? Because once you get to a certain phase, or a certain stage, you have to change up. You know what I'm saying? How you maneuver through your mental health and healing.
Yeah, you're right. I'm over here trying to type something. Um,
No, no, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to put that out there, and get people's thoughts on it and things like that. But also, that actually ties into a lot of forgiveness too, because there is look, I've seen so many people go through these mental health programs and come out a lot worse than what they went in.
right.
And there's the horror stories. And not saying that all of them are bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that I would rather for someone who has put in the work,
Hmm.
um, to be the person on the other side of
Right.
that chair that I'm sitting down across from, you
Hmm.
know. And because there's a lot of damage, I've had to go in and repair a lot of damage that has been done to primarily the men that I consult with, right? Because they come out of these programs, they're like, I don't feel like I've gotten what I needed from these individuals, and they just try to put me on medication and this, that, and another. And the biggest struggle with that is that I get tired of hearing how these individuals just gave up and said, "Oh, this person needs this," right? Instead of actually walking with them and sitting with them and talking with them, and primarily just um, helping them maneuver those challenges. And so I've had to go in and talk to these men like, look, it's not their fault.
A lot
And
of times it's
and
caseload
what
too, man.
yeah, yeah. So it's a lot that goes along with that. The depthness of it can be very detrimental to an individual if the people around them don't show the compassion or empathy that is needed in
Hmm.
order for them to get to that stage of healing and forgiveness. Because mental health is self forgiveness.
Yeah. And speaking of
You know,
forgiveness, you know what I'm saying? Being the topic, um, I think one of the major starting points, if you will, like getting better is learning to forgive. Like even
mm,
just learning to forgive yourself is like a big, big hurdle. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, it was a huge, huge hurdle, and I still stumble on that hurdle depending upon the day. You know what I'm saying? Depending upon the mood. But it's
yeah,
excuse me. It's so important. I like in my own thoughts that it's so important to forgive yourself. Like because I can't. I find it hard just even moving forward in the day if I haven't forgiven myself for some shit because something may trigger me and it's like fuck and I'm the reason for that. I'm the reason for that response. I'm the reason for that behavior towards me. I'm the reason toward for that stuff and I have to understand where I'm at today. I'm not that person that I was before and I have to forgive myself and then ask that person to get show me some grace or forgive me. That it's their choice. They don't have to forgive me. You know what I mean?
right,
Um, and I understand that. That was another hurdle. Like in my young mind of like getting myself together, uh, I was like, okay, so if I sincerely say to somebody, I forgive you. I mean, I'm sorry, and I'm doing whatever, and they should forgive me. Boom, boom, done deal. And the shit don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? It just
yeah,
doesn't work like that because I think that we have to remember and remind ourselves what we did and how we got to that point. That I mean, I'm like that for that person to forgive me. That I, I have to not only show that I'm not going to do those things anymore. I have to build back up trust. There's a laundry list of shit
yeah,
that I would have to do in order to even for that person to even begin to think about forgiving me. So working on that as well, because even like I said, man, to me, like forgiving yourself can be a tough one, can be a real tough one because, like I said, like I've sat back and be like, man, why? How in the fuck could I have done something like that? You know what I mean? And I especially as of late, I've been like, man, this is hard, man. Like because I can't believe I did half the shit that I've done. Shout out to Liddy. Also, too, shout out to Gangster Reader who was in the chat. I didn't get a chance to say something to you, but yeah, man, I'm looking back. I'm like, God damn, man, how could I have done that? That ain't me. That ain't me. And I beat the hell out of myself about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's really it's a really tough hurdle, and I would assume that that's a tough hurdle for a lot of people. That forgiving yourself for your actions or your behaviors. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people don't have to forgive you. You know what I'm saying? And even if they don't, you still have to be able to let that go and allow them to be whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do your part. Stick to your guns. I mean, like to me, it's like when I say stick to your guns, it's like okay, so if I've changed who I am and changed how I behave and how I treat people, the only hopes would be that that person, and at some point in time, does forgive me. They'll never forget, but that they do forgive me. I hold on, let me see what Fam Bam podcast says. I want to start a mental health therapy for the youth because I was a mental health patient when I was going. It was one person say I can call him anytime or day or night. Patient when I was going, it was this. Oh, okay. It was this one person said they could call him any day, any time of night. Yeah, I got you. Well, shout out to that person if they put themselves out there like that. I put myself out there like that all the time. But you know, and even the check-in is a place like that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have somebody
Yeah.
to talk to, or if you don't have whatever, at least on Sundays, if you can't get a hold of me or call me, at least on Sundays, the forum is open for you to, or anyone, I mean, to come in and discuss or talk about how they feel about whatever, even if it is for myself or anybody on the panel to just listen, because a lot of men don't have anybody out there who will just listen. Sometimes we just need to get it up off our chest.
My phone is also always open to anybody out there in the world who's going through it, because especially during these times, it's hard for a lot of people during the holidays, and I've learned in my life is sometimes it's just nice to have somebody to listen without making being judgmental or that. So I am also one that, as I'm putting out here, and I do on my Facebook, is I will always be an ear for whoever needs help, or needs someone to listen to them out there if you're going through anything. Because I think we need more kindness and try to restore some humanity back into our world.
Your name is Lincoln, right? Lincoln, that's your first name?
Lincoln Cade. Yeah, you can find me
Lincoln
on
Cade.
Facebook under Lincoln Kyle Kane Cade.
All
Or
right.
you can go to I have a couple groups on Facebook. Link Living Street Advocate, Power to the People, Living a Better Life groups. You can find me there. So, or you can email me at Community Revolution in Progress. Progress has 2 E's in it at gmail.com.
That's what's up. We'll get you to repeat that at the end of the show if you want to as well. But
Okay.
I got a question for you, Lincoln. In your journey,
Okay.
have you found it hard to forgive yourself for things?
Every day.
How do you deal
Every
with
day.
how do you deal with that?
Me, I've come to the point to where, like I was telling you earlier, my crutch and how I cope with things is through music. Music is the lovely thing about it is doesn't matter what frame of mind you're in, what emotions you're going through, situations, you can always find songs that will fit that. And so
Them
I
shits
spend a
can be
lot
a
of
trigger
time.
too. Them shits can be a trigger.
Oh yes, it can. I mean, it brings up a lot of, you know what I mean, tears, brings a lot of tears in my eyes too. Um, I've changed my music though in the last couple of years. I used to listen to a lot of that gangster rap, you know what I mean, and all that, and I realized that my mind frame was not right. Um, a lot of songs I listen to now, some people find them as depressing, but a lot of songs that are depressing to me aren't really because I relate to them. They're not. It's not depressing to me. It's more being able to understand my emotions and my feelings uh, with words that I couldn't articulate myself.
Right. Hmm. But
And
you
that
you do
so
you do struggle with forgiving yourself. You were saying.
I struggle. Yeah, a lot of what I struggle mostly with when it comes to forgiving myself for beating myself up and burying a lot of things and being stubborn about letting go of things that I should let go of and holding on to them way too long. Because
But
I really believe that if I would have let go of a lot of things instead of holding on to them, I could be in a different place in life. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very content where I'm at in life. Um, but I mean, I could always be in a better place.
yeah, having that kind of understanding is beautiful, man. Like knowing that, like from where you come from and where you're at, and you're content with it is a good space to be in. I just like I don't know me myself personally. I don't I feel like that, but I don't feel like that. I attack everything like my back is against the wall. So I do my best to get uncomfortable when I'm comfortable because that's maybe it's just how my brain is wired, but that's the way I take action on doing stuff. So and maybe that's probably why I struggle with a lot of shit because I need to be uncomfortable to push myself to do the things that I need to do, even for myself. I need to have that uncomfortable feeling, and I guess that's kind of fucked up, ain't it? I don't know, but it works for me.
No,
I don't. Well, I don't know if it's fucked up. I don't know if it's fucked up because I got told. Even my grandpa used to tell me is if it, to to progress in life, if you're not uncomfortable, then obviously you're not doing what you need to do to progress.
Right. Real quick, like Fambow podcast wants to know where we're from. I'm in Chicago. Um, Mr. Lynch over
I'm in
here
the Bay Area, California.
and okay, my man's in the light blue hood. He's from the Bay Area. Lincoln, he's from the Bay Area, and Mr. Tony Lynch over here is in Colorado. So I hope that
yeah,
that answers. I mean, that's where we reside. I reside in Chicago.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I live
I
in
think we
Chicago.
all. I mean, aside from a man, I think we're the only ones that have moved to different places. You
Hmm.
know, but it's all the same. No matter where we go, we still have to show up. You know what I'm saying? We still have to
It's,
show up in life.
yeah, it's the same
Um,
sand, different sandbox.
right, right.
You know.
You know, to piggyback off of what you were saying, though, you know, forgiving yourself, the hardest things. You know,
Excuse me.
I think I've gotten to a place in my life to where I am finally at peace with my life, right?
Hmm.
But there was a lot of things that I struggle with, like not being there for my family, um, being a day late, you know what I'm saying, and some of the friends that I've had and stuff that has taken their lives and things like that, man. Like I beat myself up pretty good on those things. And I guess doing the work that I do now has got me to a place to where I understand that We can't save everyone.
Right.
And I can't take on that responsibility for everyone, right? I can only give what I can. And if a person is willing to take the things that I'm willing to give them, that's a blessing. That's a
Mm-hmm.
blessing. But it took me a long time to come to a place of peace, though, man, where I'm just okay with everything. Um, and it wasn't always this way. Like I do have my struggles. I do. I there's times where I feel like I let people down. There's times where, I feel like I'm not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? In what I'm called to do. There's times where I have that. So there's a up and down to it as well. So not every day is perfect. Well, not every moment is perfect. I've understood. You and I talked last week, and I was telling you, like, man, I was struggling. I
Yeah.
was struggling hard. You know what I'm saying? Where I want to just walk away from everything. I was going through depression. I was really truly doubting myself, because I felt like I wasn't living up to my end of the bargain that I signed a contract for when I got into this work.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something to me that really just sparked the fire back in me. Like, if I was not doing what I was doing, would I be happy? And the answer was no. I wouldn't be happy. And I talked about this on the podcast earlier today. I was telling these individuals, or the individual I was talking to, I said, if you took away everything in my life, I would be okay with that because I can always go back and get that back. But if you took away what I'm doing right now, I wouldn't know what to do. I
Mm.
really wouldn't know what to do, right? Because this in my heart is I know that's why I'm here to do the work that I do with the men, and to be able to provide that service is my main purpose. You know, um, so there are times, man. There are times where it is okay to put your back up against the wall and come out swinging. But at some point, we as men, we have to come to a place of not only forgiveness of the things that we, you know, um, don't know, but the things that we know and don't do better of.
Right.
And I
Oh
think
wow.
as a
Say
human
that one
race,
more
that's
time.
that's one of the things that we
Can you
struggle
say
with.
that one more time, bro?
Of what to find forgiveness in the things that we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm saying, forgiveness in the things that we know but don't do better in of.
Yeah. That's
I,
I like that.
Yeah, because brother, the thing about the biggest struggle with humans, as a human race, is that we have this phrase: when you know better, you do better.
Mm-hmm.
But how many people that know better but choose not to do better?
Hey, listen, I was one of them motherfuckers.
I think we all were.
You know, I knew better, but for whatever reason, I wasn't doing better.
Right.
But a lot of that, when I was talking to Lincoln earlier, and it I'm getting to the point right now where I just like hate going back to this, but it's just like, yeah, I have no real choice but to kind of fall back on it, because as men, most of us were taught to stuff our feelings, stuff this, uh, hold back doing this, don't show this type of emotion, don't do that, you know what I mean? Grin and bear it, get up, you know what I mean? Brush yourself off, keep it pushing, all of that kind of shit. And the whole time, we are struggling to
Mm.
hold it together. I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday. I was like, because he came in to the studio to do some stuff, and I said, hey, how you doing? You all right? You good? And he was like, no, man. I just it's just one of those days, man. Just one of those days. And I was like, well, talk to me. What's going on? And it surprised me, but didn't surprise me what he said. He was just like, just stuff, things. And he had nothing real precise, nothing real pinpointed. But the more we talked, and it was like, I get it, because we're expected to be a certain way when we have these worries and things that we, I think, as not just humans, but as men, because let's be clear, we're built different than women. Not
Oh
just,
yeah.
I'm not just talking physically, but and there's a different level of stresses and things that we cope with and deal with in society and everything today, just alone by itself. Not to mention whatever stresses and things that are going on within the household.
Yeah.
And when we can't find any sanctity or any peace or anything, it can be overwhelming. And
Very true.
if we have children, we're constantly worried about our children, even if they're adults. If we have a significant other, we're concerned about them. We're concerned about the roof over our heads. We're concerned about everybody's safety. We're concerned about this. And that's just in the goddamn house.
Yeah.
Not to mention when we step out the door. Now I got to deal with this fool over here. I got to deal with this fool in front of me. I got to deal with these people driving erratic and cutting me off and being worried about honking the horn because this fool might blow my damn brains out, or whatever. Stresses at the job. You know what I mean? The police and all of these things, and we have nothing, or we feel like we have nothing or anyone to talk to about it. Now, granted, I know that there's facilities and places and phone numbers you can call and everything like that, but we're also taught not to do that.
Yeah, it's not the same either. You know what I mean? It's for men, it's not easy to confide in somebody you don't know.
Right, because we were taught,
and it's crazy because I seen this reel, and it actually brought a whole thing to light when I saw it, and it was like, what is the biggest lie you've ever told? And the guy asked that, he said, I'm fine. And the guy asked me, and he's like, no, what's the biggest lie? He said, I'm fine. And I didn't realize it, but I know how many times I've been struggling and really suffering from depression, and someone asked me, how you doing? And that's the answer. I'm fine. I'm good.
I had a moment like something like that. Matter of fact, on Tony's podcast, because I had broken down in tears about something, and I immediately got upset about breaking down in tears. But then I also said at the same damn time out loud that I was taught this shit, or what did I say? Well, this is a taught behavior. You know what I mean? I had to remind myself
behavior.
That is a taught behavior, and that saying it out loud actually helped me in that little moment or that process, because I got mad about breaking down about something that I shouldn't feel ashamed about it or anything. And I was like, out loud, I'm like, damn it, I'm the fuck, I'm apologizing to Tony for crying, and he's trying to reassure me, but at the same time in my mind I'm like, this is a taught behavior, but I'm saying it out loud, but I wasn't really talking to him. I was really telling myself to remind myself, because I'm one of those people, so I have to say that shit out loud to myself. And I had to tell myself, this is a taught behavior. I have to remind myself that me getting pissed off about showing my emotions or showing a feeling of grief or sadness or anything, or in my mind that would be construed as weakness, was a no-no. And that's a taught behavior. And I had to remind myself
very much so. Taught behavior.
Yeah. That
can I ask a question? Can I pose a question to the
panel? Don't understand what emotions and feelings actually that they're having actually are, or even understand them because of the way we were taught.
What were you saying, Tony?
Well, I want to pose a question to the guys up here, man. The biggest thing I want to ask, what is the hardest thing that you ever have to forgive yourself for? What are the name 3 of the hardest things that you've ever had to forgive yourself for? and I'll start. The first one, not being there for my family,
Hmm.
right? Because I moved away and I had this whole life that, my family didn't know nothing about, and things like that. The second, forgiving myself for not showing up for me
Mm.
when I needed me the most.
Right.
And the biggest one, the third one, was not, I had to forgive myself for not allowing myself to feel what I needed to feel when I needed to feel them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what I mean by that, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper in that. Like when I lost my parents and my younger brother and my son, I was so busy trying to be strong for other people that I forgot to be strong for myself. And I beat myself up pretty good. Like, how did I allow myself to get to this point to where I prioritize other people above myself? And as a man, I know that's what we're taught to do. But once I forgave myself for not prioritizing myself, I began to put myself at the top of the list. And it got easier for me to tell people, like, no, not right now, right? Because people were so used to dumping their stuff on me that I didn't have anything left for myself. I was so weak, I was so drained. And people, when I used to tell people, like, dude, I'm drained, it's as if no one wanted to pay attention to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're drained, so I'm gonna take every little bit out of you, right? And I used to allow people to do that. But it wasn't until I started saying no, no more. I started forgiving myself for not putting myself first. And that's why I used to find that, well, I still find, that's why I find my second breath in. And so now I make people ask permission before they dump their crap on me. Hey
Right.
man, is it okay? Not like, and I have no problems with telling them, no, not right now. I can't do it. Right now I need to focus on me. Oh man, and then I get those people that want to surprise me too. Oh man, I was gonna dump this stuff on you. I know you was. I know you was, but not right now.
Right.
Not right now. Because for one, I know now throughout all of that I got people that I can pick up the phone and call. Like
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? Lincoln. I can call Lincoln. I got probably about four people that I can genuinely pick up the phone and say, hey man, do you got a minute? I'm not doing too well right now.
Right.
And I know that these individuals will actually want to listen and not try to fix the problem, but actually hold the space with me so I can talk,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the crazy part about it is the people that I actually work with, the grief workers, the mental health practitioners, the trauma informed coaches, and things like that, they still live in within that perception. Oh, you're a man. You're a man.
Hmm.
So of course I'm going to interrupt you because for one, I don't want to hear things about you being weak and things like that. And I had to correct them too, man. Like, hold on. You practice what you preach. And just because I'm a man doesn't mean that I don't struggle. I
Right.
hurt too. I have days where I'm not at 100%. Maybe I'm at 40%, you know? So yeah, there was a lot of that, and in order to get to where I am. So I posed that same question to y'all. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? What was the three hardest things that you had to forgive yourself about? And how did you start setting boundaries to get yourself to where you could forgive yourself?
Well,
Shit.
with me, my number one overall was forgiving myself for not loving myself. Um, I lived in a negative and hateful mindset for a long time, and everything was happened because I looked at because I wasn't enough or this or that. So first off, I was like not loving myself, And then my second would have to be with forgiving myself for allowing just anybody and everybody in my life. And I realized since then, since I stopped just allowing anybody in my life's actually become better. I don't allow too many people in my life anymore, because unfortunately I've had too much hurt in my life. And then third would have to be forgiving myself for not forgiving my father and allowing the hurt and pain for what he did control me. Because for a lot of years, I still don't understand how he was able to do what he did, but I held on to it too long. And because of it, and because of all the pain I went through, I allowed it to control a lot of decisions and a lot of things I did in life. And it wasn't until I decided one day that, hey, I can't hold on to this no more, and actually forgave myself for holding on to it, that it seemed like it got easier to deal with and cope with it. Like I said, I still don't understand, but I do understand the fact that I'll never get the answers to the questions I have, and I just have to be okay with that.
Right, right. And you know, you and I have talked. You've been on the podcast. You've shared that
Mm-hmm.
deepness, and things like that growing up, where and I don't want to put your business out there, but your parents did you dirty when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Putting
Well,
things in your
mom
food.
didn't, but dad surely did.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Shout
So,
out to
yeah.
Gangster Raider. She's been in the comments. She's a good friend of the show, and I wanted to make sure that I shouted her out right quick. And shout out to E Johnson. He's been the most loyalist. He's been watching every show on this channel since day one. And shout out to Swipe God, the engineer. He says salute to you, my brother. All right.
But
Salute.
like you were saying, Tony, my dad, you know what I mean. What I realized is he might have did me and my sisters wrong, but I think he did himself a lot of wrong too. You know what I mean? My dad was an alcoholic drug addict, so me being one, I've also have had addictions. You know what I mean? Or was able to. It was easier once I decided to forgive myself because I have had somewhat of an understanding of a lot of things he did during his addiction.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I pose that same question to you. What do you what do you think
Man,
about that?
man, I don't even know if we got enough time, bro. But I'll give it a shot. Listen, I'm gonna say like one before my mother passed away, I had a talk with her, and I had told her that I was a coward, and she couldn't understand what I was saying to her. She's like, "What are you talking about? You don't take no shit from nobody. You don't this, you don't that." I said, "No, ma. I'm a coward." And she was like, "No, you're not. Stop saying that. You're the man's man. You're this and this and that." No, mom. I'm a coward. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Because I've never stood up to you. I never stood up to you and said, no, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother treated me like I was her personal hitman and you know what I'm saying, body not a bodyguard, because I would never let anybody harm my mother, but I think any boy or man would feel that way. But my mom took that shit to a whole nother level, and from very very young age, uh, and I was like her enforcer. Whenever she'd fuck up something or do whatever, she basically was like sick 'em. And what that did was, as I got older, my motherfucking I say all the time, like, my outer did not represent my inner, because my outer didn't give a fuck. My outer would fuck some shit up, but my inner didn't want no part of any of that. My inner wanted peace. My inner wanted to go sit down and draw and paint and write and make music, but my outer wouldn't allow me to. And a lot of that was because I wouldn't stand up to this woman. And I had to forgive myself for that because I beat myself up horribly over that. You know what I'm saying? And hold on real quick. Swipe God says, I had to forgive myself for making terrible decisions that could have put me in the best positions possible. Man, amen to that.
Amen.
Amen to that. But you know now, you know better now, right? You know better, you do better. But that was one of them. I had to really forgive myself and understand, what all of that meant to me and means to me now, even to this day. That was a big one. That was a huge one. And being able to say that to her, and even, oddly enough, forgiving myself for saying the shit to her. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why in the fuck am I sitting up here beating myself up when I'm telling my truth and I'm getting things off of my chest and I'm standing up and being assertive and I'm standing up for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was a tough one. And also the feeling of not being there for my kids. I beat myself up with that because of all of this shit that has happened to me growing up and everything. I have a lot of guilt. So when I look at my kids, I always feel like I don't deserve them, or I always feel, or not always, but I feel like they couldn't possibly love me. There's no way. And I look at them sometimes and I'm like, no, these motherfuckers is lying to me. And that's a weird thing. And I have to forgive myself for even thinking like that. You know what I mean? And even understanding where that comes from. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to both my sons and one of them today too, like just letting him know how much I love him and him being in my life and how important he is to me. You know what I'm saying? And me understanding that when he tells me that he listens to me and he takes everything that I say serious and he does the best that he can, that I have to take that. You know what I'm saying? And not beat myself up, and that he is listening. You know what I'm saying? That he understands what I'm trying to convey to him, to make sure, because I worry to death that my kids are going to make the same mistakes that I've made in life. And I tell them all the time that I don't want you to get to where I'm at in life to just to figure it out. I need you to figure it out sooner. And that's what I'm here for. It's my job. Yeah. And I take that job quite seriously. And also too, allowing them to express themselves and everything without fear of being judged, without fear of judgment by others. You know what I mean? Not just from me, but by others. And by I really, really do everything I can to lead by example. And even a leader has to know how to get their hands dirty and get in there and do some trench work himself. You know what I'm saying? He can't just delegate the work out. You know what I mean? So that would be one. Other one. And the biggest one of all, just forgiving myself for every goddamn thing. Everything. And the odd thing about that is, I believe it was you, Tony, I was talking to. Forgiving myself for everything is a tough one. Is easy as it may sound, because I have new shit popping up every day. You know what I mean? When I say new shit, I mean I'm having a recollection, or I'm something that I have totally forgotten about, or I'm triggered by something new, and that's a whole new trigger that I didn't even know existed in me. You know what I mean? Because I've been so unaware of these things for so many years, and I've stuffed all these things down for so many fucking years, that right when I think I got one handled, bow, here's a brand new one, boy. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't prepared for this one, boy. Go sit your ass down somewhere, boy. You know what I mean? And I struggle with that, because I'm like, damn, what I did. Wait, I had someone tell me the other day, like, do you remember when you did this, and you did that, and you did this? And I honestly was sitting there thinking to myself as I'm watching them telling me this, and they're crying and shit, and I'm like, this motherfucker got a lot of nerve coming over here, making up this shit and telling me this shit.
Right.
Because I had zero recollection of it. Not only that, in my mind, that is not no shit I would do. Not because I'm a new me or anything, because whatever the fuck reason, that shit is gone out of my memory. Besides, maybe it was the drinking, maybe it was whatever. But I had to like, when they walked away, I had to like sit there and I'm like, well, there has to be some truth in what they're saying because they wouldn't just make that shit up.
Right.
And there was certain things, yeah, I was living there at that point. Yeah, I did have that roommate at that point. Yeah, but I don't remember that shit. You know what I mean? And then being able to forgive myself for that, those kinds of things that I really don't have a recollection of. You know, because like I said, when I drank, man, I used to drink. I didn't drink to be social. I was just as fine drinking in a club as I was drinking in a room with the door locked.
Yeah.
In each of those places, I'm drinking to black the fuck out. I'm not drinking to be social. I'm not drinking to shake a hand. I'm not drinking to kiss a baby. I'm drinking to forget whatever in the fuck it is, because at that point in my life, I didn't even understand what I was going through. I'm just, when I start feeling some kind of way, I just started drinking. That, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even give it any thought of like, why am I feeling like this or anything. I'll just get fucked up. And my thought wasn't, I'll deal with it tomorrow. My thought was like, I'm just gonna get fucked up and then pass the fuck out. Period.
Right.
And so,
Man, I understand that so well.
and so, like, you know, just even getting to a point to forgive myself for things like that, and just having these brand new occurrences constantly happening, and to give myself some goddamn grace, you know, because, man, a lot of shit I don't remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like to think, and I know that I'm an inherently good person. You know, I'm even though I had somebody, matter of fact, somebody the other day I was talking to on the phone, a friend of mine in Vegas, and in the middle of this conversation, he goes, wait a minute, G, I got to tell you something. And I was like, well, what's up? And he's like, no, some real shit. I don't mean to stop you, but I really fucking love this version of you. And that took me aback. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? He's like, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? This version of you, focus, this version of you, understanding, this version of you showing grace, this version of you having patience, this version of you, because I never burned any bridges with anybody per se. They tolerated my ass. You know what I'm saying? But I've never done, like, in at least in my mind, I've never done anything as far as business and shit like that within music or whatever. I never burned any bridges like that. But I know I made an ass of myself multiple times. Relationships, ain't no telling what the fuck I did, because I didn't give a fuck about me, let alone give a fuck about anybody else. Again, my outer was not matching my inner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the way that I feel in this moment, in this time in my life, I would never, let me reiterate, never want to harm or hurt somebody emotionally or physically. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, you fuck with me, I'm gonna physically whoop that ass. But I mean, like, I don't know. There's some parts of me that are just they ain't going nowhere. Like, there's certain parts, but I am in control of me. I'm not gonna allow anybody. Again, this is about me being. When I had the conversation with my mother about being a coward, I am not gonna allow anybody to control me. You know, I'm in control of me. So I'm in control of when I decide to whoop that ass or not. And, you know, I'm going to give it thought before I do it, because, you know, there's consequences to actions. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And I'm very aware of them. You know what I mean? But
That's crazy.
I'm not glorifying anything.
You made me think.
I'm just making my point, you know what I mean, for me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, like my man like man, it's incredible, and I love seeing you like that, and that really took me somewhere. Like man, damn, and it showed me that I also needed to show myself some grace, which goes back to the forgiving myself because I didn't even know
Yeah.
how to take that beautiful fucking compliment that he gave me. I wanted to stuff that shit down with everything else because I didn't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. But yeah, that's
You
So
it.
know
I got
that
hit with
that's
one that
crazy.
I had someone hit me with one the other day that both of you might actually relate to too. Um, they sat there and said, "You stuffed things for all these years." They're like, "So I'm gonna ask you this: would you turn your back on your brother?" I said, "Never." They said, "Then why do you turn your back on yourself?"
Mm.
Man. Damn.
And I said, "What do you?" At first I didn't catch on. I'm like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Every time you stuff things down, you're turning your back on yourself instead of dealing with them."
Hmm.
And that
Yeah.
really hit home with me.
What is it that you were gonna say, Tony?
I was gonna say, man, I was talking to a guy the other day. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was talking to him, and we got on this subject because he was like, man, he's on his journey. He's on a similar journey that that we're on, and he was talking about how many people came in, and the trust issues that he had because so many people had been lying to him, and what I'm saying, and he was just tired of people just taking advantage of him and things like that, because look, man, he's a good dude and he's trying to build a business. And we all know that there's people out there that's going to tell you things that may not come through and et cetera, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he was upset about that. So I hit him with this. I go, it's funny because this is how life works. How many people did you do that to? Right? How many people did you? I mean, life be happening sometimes, and sometimes we get embarrassed, right? You may tell somebody that you're going to be able to do something for them, and you're not able to do that because life came and started lifing on you. But you're too embarrassed to go to that individual, so you kind of blow them off, right? You may tell somebody, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go and help you do this," but you can't do it because something else then came up and you haven't went back and you didn't go back and tell that person because you didn't want to make it seem like that you was making an excuse why you didn't show up. But all of a sudden now you mad because somebody else just did that to you. I said, look, man, I think as I think we all have done this to people before.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know I have. I
I'm
know
pretty
I
sure
have
I
told people that, hey man, I'm gonna do this
did
for
that
you,
shit.
you know what I'm saying, and this, that, and another. And I didn't have the means to be able to do it when the time came up because life started lifing on me, right? And instead of going to that individual and saying, hey man, I'm not gonna be able to do this, it was so much of an embarrassment for me that I wasn't able to do that to show up for that individual that I really just didn't say anything.
Huh.
And that hit, I think, as I was saying it, it really hit me hard as well as it hit him hard because then he had to turn around and look and go, damn. And just within that little phrase right there, I think he understood we all we all make fucking mistakes, man. We all have these moments like that. Um, but we can't beat ourselves up. And I think that's part of what we carry. That's the hardest thing to admit or forgive ourselves for, that what I'm saying, that we are guilty of these things.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Life is life is fucking something else, man. I will like yeah, you ever think about that shit and just be like, you know you have the words to articulate it, but do you really? Like life is damn, you know, like
I
Well,
look at it
think
as we
about
got to
it,
deal
man.
with the bad
it's
end
like
of the stick. You know
the
what I mean?
fuck,
Because
you know what I
as
mean?
men, unfortunately, we will forever think that we're never doing enough.
No, I don't know about that
Well,
part, but I
it's
mean,
ego and pride.
right.
It's ego and pride. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. You did say the right part. We do. I know for me, I always feel like I'm not doing enough. So that's why I really push myself to a point to where I have to be more creative. I have to put some more stuff out there. I have to make sure that I'm reaching more people because you know what I'm saying. And for me, I don't want to just I don't want to. I'm tired of losing people. I'm tired of the people that come along, you know what I'm saying, and end up taking their lives and stuff like that, man. I feel like that I should have been doing a lot more for what I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I push myself and I keep pushing myself because I am always striving to do better, right? Not just for me, for those men out there, you know what I'm saying? Because when I lose one, I can't just chalk that up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't when I lose two and three of them, you know what I'm saying? I really can't chalk that up
Right.
because I feel like this is what I'm called to do. And I feel like I'm not maximizing my gift to the best of its ability. So there's a sense of guilt that goes along with that. Now the other side, like I said before, the ego and the pride, when I have let people down because you know what I'm saying, there was things that had happened. Like I can remember one time um that and this is when I was out there gang banging and stuff like that. I had told somebody, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be by there to come help you do this over here. And you know what I'm saying? And I think I can't remember specifically what it was, but it was something really important to him. And he just wanted me there with him to be able to help him out. And I told him, I said, man, I'll be there at this time. And as the day went on, there was some other stuff that had happened. It wasn't really a priority, but I made it a priority, right? And I ended up going off and doing that. And I totally just blew my man off.
Mm-hmm.
He was so hurt. He was so hurt, man. When I tell you he was hurt, he was hurt. And this is back in the days when we had pagers. You
Right.
dig what I'm saying? And so, um, and I didn't even go to the phone to pick up the I didn't even go to the phone booth to put the quarters in to go give him a call to say, hey man, I'm sorry I wasn't there, and things like that. I just really just blew him off because I was embarrassed because what I had put as a priority above what I was supposed to do over here was really not that important.
Right. Well, real quick, shout
It
out to
really
E.
wasn't.
Johnson. Lincoln,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, see, you just hit somebody with some shit. He said, that just hit home with me as well. Would you turn your back on your brother? No. He said, then why would you turn your back on
Mm.
yourself? He said, profound, you know. And that's like
Whew,
that's some real shit. That's why I do this fucking show, man, because
man.
that's a perfect example right there, man. People that for whatever reason, um, this has been put in my lap, and I'm running with it, man, because we all need it. You know what I'm saying? You need it, Lincoln. You need it, Tony. I need it. There's people out there that need it. And even though we don't think that we have words of wisdom, sometimes we do. And even though sometimes we think nobody gonna understand what I've been through, they will. You know what I'm saying? And these things
Yeah.
need to be heard, and that's why even resonating off of what you said is resonating. I mean, Tony, about you doing what you're doing now, and feeling the need to continue and to get better at it and put it out there and everything, man. That shit is real. That shit
Yeah.
is very real. I told one of my sons, well, both of them. I told him, because he's like, man, Dad, you're really making a legacy and building a legacy. I said, man, fuck a legacy, you know, point blank. I ain't, you can make a legacy of being a drunk, an abuser, that could be your legacy. I need to make a footprint. You know what I'm saying? I need to make a
Mm,
change. I need to be that. Long after I'm gone, that I had made a change. I made a difference. I did something. You know what I'm saying? That even if it
mm.
touches one person and is able to change their direction, change their line of thinking, that shit will last forever, because if they have children, or if they already have children, and they make the change and they're leading by example, that gets instilled into their children, and then their children, and then their children, and then their children. Children. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, it's making that footprint. Excuse me. Not a legacy. Because
I hear that.
there are people in my life that no matter what I do, my legacy to them is going to be this violent as whatever and whatever. You know what I mean? That's
Right,
forever going to be
right.
my legacy to them. For those closer to me,
I
my,
You
I
know,
you know,
I hear you on that.
I can relate to that too because somebody asked me a question not too long ago about my daughters, and they had said, because I hadn't seen my daughters in quite some time, and they're grown up now, and I don't look, man. I had to walk away from my girls because my life, right, my lifestyle did not permit me to have anybody around me that I could. That I barely survived, and I knew I couldn't. I couldn't survive with them, and they've had a beautiful life.
hmm
And so the person asked me, "Do you ever think about going and trying to find them or trying to have a relationship with them?" And I say all the time. And they go, "Why not? Why don't you do it?" I said, "Because they have a truth that they have been told. And regardless of what I do now, this truth is what keeps them, what drives them. Because in their mind, they don't want to be like their old man. They always want to be better than the old man.
Come on now, Tony. I ain't letting you get away with that one. All right, the fuck
No,
I
no,
let
they
you
Yeah,
get
I
do.
away.
ain't.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no. You gotta listen. You gotta listen to me
I
though,
You
agree.
right?
better you better clean that one up.
Because because of the simple fact of they don't know me. What they know is what their moms have told them, what other people have told them. So they
Okay.
don't know this version of me.
Okay, and who's in charge of that if they know that version of you?
Right. It's my job to make sure that they know that version of me, but also it's like they've had a really good life
And you are
without.
not coming to good. You're not going to get in that to disrupt it.
No, no, no. But
Okay.
they'll never believe from the lies that they've been told that
And
I am
and
who
and
I am.
and,
Like,
and all you do is
Wait, 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 wait.
perpetuate that by not doing that.
Yeah, yeah, you kids. I gotta agree with that because Tony. Like I ain't seen my kids in 13 years. My baby mama kept my kids from me, and I know they've
mm,
been told lies. But my whole focus is always gonna be is one day, even if they don't like the truth, is they need to hear the truth. I mean, that's the reality. You can't allow your children to just live a life thinking of you off lies. That's not fair to them or
It's
you. I
unfair to
mean,
you, and it's unfair to them.
right.
exactly. I mean,
Now,
you got it.
let
You
me let me just
even if they
let me
don't
just
like the
add to
truth,
it though.
you
Let me
got they
just
gotta
add
know
to
the
that
truth.
though, right? Um, because like, and I'm not making any excuses whatsoever, right? If my girls ever decided that they wanted to meet me or something like that, I would love to.
Why
I
don't
would
you
really love
decide?
to.
Why don't you decide that you want to meet them? Why don't you decide that
I
you
have.
don't?
Oh,
Okay.
trust me, I have. I've
No,
reached out
I'm
to I've
saying,
reached
bro.
out to both of my
Make
daughters.
make 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 that decision to make sure that is not the last thoughts and memories that they have of you, regardless.
Right. And I have reached out to them.
Okay.
I have reached out to him on several occasions where so my sister know both of my daughters and my sister has set it up and even given me information. I've reached out to him, I've called him, I sent them emails, I've sent them text messages, what you know what I'm saying? And I've been
But you can't
told flat
stop.
out,
You can't
huh?
stop. You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't fucking stop. Because if you stop,
Amen.
the fucking same thing is gonna pop in their head. I knew he wasn't shit.
Yeah.
You can't stop. The only way they're going to know is if that Tony continues. And because that's the only thing that's okay. So if he's such a bad person, why in the fuck won't he leave us alone? Go about his business. Or they may want to just make you eat that shit sandwich. But you're gonna have to.
That's true.
You're gonna have to. And then when
you
do,
no, I will.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying though, when you do, you can say, I'm not trying to tell you what to say or nothing, but I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna eat that shit sandwich. But today, I'm a different person. And the only thing that I want you to do is just be in this moment with me. In this motherfucking moment. And anytime that we speak or anything, just be in this moment with me. In this moment. I ain't asking shit else. Just be in this fucking moment with me. Because the moment you stop is the moment that they say, see, I knew it. But at some point, if it takes you to your last breath, one of them is going to say, why in the hell? Let me see what this man wants, because he ain't giving up. And any intelligent person is going to be like, okay, so if I'm calling Tony and I'm texting Tony and I'm leaving Tony emails and all I want to do is borrow money, eventually I'm going to be like, man, fuck Tony. He ain't finna give me shit. He ain't all shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to move on to the next person, right? But a logical thinking person is going to go, okay, this person must really want to say something. Let me see what the fuck he has to say right quick. You don't have to give excuses or say anything. You just say, I just wanted to say hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about you all the time, and I
I've
just
done
wanted
that.
to say hi. That's it.
Yeah.
Here's
I
my
actually
number.
make it a
I would
point
love
to
for
do.
you to
I
fucking
actually make it
call.
a point to do that because, for one, I realized that when their moms met me, I was a different version of myself, and you know what I'm saying. And they have every right to tell the stories that they tell about me. They're
Right.
not wrong.
Yeah, okay.
They're not wrong at all.
But that ain't you
Right?
now.
Right. It's not me now, but that's all they know. They know.
And that's all
They
they're
know
gonna
that. They
know
know that
until
crazy ass
Tony
motherfucker that
shows
was
them
out there in the
fucking
streets.
different. That's all they're gonna know until Tony shows them fucking different.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
you cannot rely on anybody else. And this is what you see what I'm saying, bro? Goddamn.
Yeah.
This is what we talking about forgiveness, bro.
There
Ain't
you
that
go.
some wild
See?
ass shit? This is exactly. Forgive yourself, brother. Give yourself some grace. Man, I swear to God, boy, I will come, man, me and you will be in a parking lot somewhere tearing apart cars, boy. Don't give up on those kids. You know what I'm saying? Because rather
Yeah.
you want to believe it or not, they are dying inside because you're not around. They can be doing all great on the surface and have all of the fucking things that life can bring you, a house, a home, fucking kids and a fucking husband and a fucking all of that shit. But in the inside, that piece is still fucking missing. You are that
Take
other
it from me,
piece.
Tony.
You are that other piece. Man, don't do that. Don't fucking
Take
do
it from
that.
me, Tony. Look, my mom didn't tell me lies about my dad. Everything my dad did himself. But look how long I made myself suffer because of my dad. Because he didn't come back and say, "Hey, this is why I did what I did."
But you shouldn't even expect him to not do that, or do you do? But that's what I'm saying. Like even you hearing it from this man, you know what I mean? Like, no, you have to. It's especially, bro. You out here preaching your word and saying your things and doing your stuff, and the one thing that you should be fucking doing, man, don't do that. You better contact them girls. You better stay on their heels, boy. You better stay on their motherfucking heels until somebody answers that goddamn phone or answers that goddamn email. Because you don't want to have that regret on you, bro. And you don't want to leave them with that of you. You're a better person than that. That old Tony doesn't exist. And but I'm sure that just like myself, there's a little piece in there that be like, I'll, but but for the most part,
It's still there.
It's just on the back burner.
but
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying though,
You know, like
you can't do that, bro. Don't do that.
no,
do that.
like if they was to ever give me the chance to talk to
But
me,
they're never
and
gonna give
things
you the
like
chance,
that,
my nigga, if you don't fucking do the due diligence.
But that's what I'm saying. I do my due diligence.
Every day. If that was me,
Well, not every day, not every day, but I do my
motherfucker,
due
it
diligence.
takes
I
2
do reach
seconds.
out to them.
We all have computers in our pocket.
That's
Takes
true.
2 seconds. Hi, it's an email or text. Hi, this is your dad. I just wanted to say hello. Have a great day. I would love to speak to you. Send. That's
Every
it.
day.
Every day. Hello, it's me again. Have a beautiful day. Smile. I'm sure you'll brighten somebody's day. Whatever in the fuck you say. But do it. Somebody's
We do
gonna
it.
say
We
to
do it when
themselves,
we're trying to get with a female.
somebody
text with that
is
every
going
single
to
day.
say either to them, because they're going to tell somebody, or they're going to say it to themselves. There must be something really true about what he's saying to us in these messages. There must be some lies in some of that stuff that we've thought and learned about our father. Or he must be in a different place. And you have to. E. Johnson said, Tony, you are influencing me on this short show. You will definitely have a larger impact on your shorties.
I want to say thank you for that, man. Damn.
Salute to E. Johnson, man. Thank you for that.
Big salute, man. You know what I'm saying? And salute to to everyone up here, because I sometimes think I do enough, and I just got put in my place like I'm not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? And I need to do better. I should be doing better. You're absolutely right. I should
Look
be
at that.
doing better.
You see that? See that?
Yeah,
that
say
man
to them, I
that
love
man
you.
don't know you.
No.
That man does not know you. And you see what he said? Come on now. Come on now. Don't do that shit. I'll hop on a plane ride. I'll drive to Colorado. You ain't nothing but 14 hours away, my guy.
Yeah, 21 for me.
You ain't nothing but 14 hours away, my guy. I will drive to Colorado and we can tussle. But at one point, after we tussle, you will text them or something. Because I ain't leaving till you do. Don't do that, my guy.
You know we both gonna be out of breath, right?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just joking. But no,
I'm
some real
practice
shit
breath
though,
control
man.
on that 14-hour drive. How about that?
Yeah, on some real shit though, man. That's some real shit though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't got no words. I can't make up no excuses or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take that.
I don't want you to think that I'm
No,
fuck that. I
no,
am
no,
getting
no,
on
no,
your
no.
ass about it. I am getting on your ass about it.
On.
You know what I'm saying? Because, we all have children. I never even got a chance to meet my father. I don't even know if this motherfucker's alive. But if he was to reach out to me,
have you looked for him?
No, I don't even. Well, I don't have. I'm going to make excuses if I start talking, but I do have enough.
We got
information.
on Tony.
No. Hear me. No, I'm about to. Man, I'm transparent as fuck. I do have the information to find him, but my thought is that I don't want to disrupt anybody's life. His, not mine. I don't know if he's married. I don't even know if the man is alive, and I know that I'm not ready for that.
Okay, I can accept that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm ready for that.
The disrupting of life, man. If I knew where my dad was at, I'd show up at his porch right now and say, "What the fuck?"
Right. But
because because with my dad, see, where I struggle with the most, you know what I mean, is my dad was a father during his addiction and alcoholism. My dad stopped being a father and abandoned us once he got clean and sober. With being an addict, I don't understand that. I understand fully how people are not in their children's lives during their addictions. And like I tell females, mothers, all the times when they sit there and make the comment, well, he'd rather be white than be with us. It's not that simple. I tell them it's not. You don't understand. Me, I went through it myself. I'd rather have been with my kids and getting high, but the addiction had control over me at the time. I couldn't. You know what I mean? I didn't have the control. And a lot of them don't understand that. But I don't understand how you could turn your back on your babies. I mean, I'm a daddy. I've been kept on my kids, and I let you cut my right leg off just to have 2 minutes with my kids. So I don't get the whole thing. How can you just abandon your children after you get clean and sober? Like, were we that bad? I mean, what? You know what I mean? That's what I've struggled my entire life with.
Man, look, man, motherfucker have to kill me, like on some real life shit. My kids, motherfucker will have to kill me. Like, I'm not saying that like I'm a tough guy or no nothing, but literally, ain't nobody alive keeping me away from my children. You know, the only way I'm not gonna be around them is in my death, and then even in my death, I'm gonna survive in their hearts and their minds. But you know, without getting all crazy and weird about it. You know what I mean? But it is important, Tony. It's extremely important. And as I was saying right before, my man said it, what he said is that some of us grew up without fathers, and so we know that emptiness. We know what the fuck that feels like. Whether the motherfucker walked out, died, or whatever the case may be, was an alcoholic, drug addict, whatever. We all know, especially as men, what it feels like as a man to not have a father around. You can imagine what I couldn't even imagine what my daughter would feel like without me around. She's my little one. I call her little one all the time. She's like, my sons are, for all intents and purposes, boy, these motherfuckers are stupid. To me, I don't understand how they think, but they're young. I know they'll get it. But
Apples don't fall from the tree.
But my little one, she follows direction to the goddamn T. If she asks me questions about life or about things, and I give her some understanding about something or how to treat people or how to maneuver in life, man, she follows that shit to the T. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that even though my boys are idiots, they're still listening to me. You know what I'm saying? And one day, when they get a little older, they're going to say, oh, shit, my dad was right. I thought he was talking crazy, but that man was right. I needed him to say that to me. And I was talking about my mother earlier, but like my mother did a whole lot of stuff. She was a drug addict, alcoholic, all kinds of crazy ass shit. But there are certain things that I know now that she instilled in us as children that I don't even think she understood how powerful those things were that she instilled on us. Because the person that I am, even though she did a lot of fucked up shit, a lot of the things and the empathy that I have for people and the compassion that I have and the way that I articulate myself and how I treat people, that is a direct reflection of things that my mother told me and things that my mother said to me as a child. You know what I'm saying? So it's 100% imperative. I don't give a damn how old they are. You're still pops. And you got where you are today with all of the struggles and all of the strife and all of everything to get right here in this motherfucking moment. In this motherfucking moment, Tony, on this motherfucking podcast, you're doing your own podcast. I don't know how many times a day. You're getting ready to do this global shit. Man, if you don't get in this motherfucking moment with your goddamn daughters, boy, and if they do, just ask them to be in the moment with you. Just a moment. You don't need all day. You don't need all year. Not right now. Right now, just be in the moment with me right now. I just want to know how you're doing. Do I have any grandkids? You know what I'm saying? Are you happy? How was your day? You know what I'm saying? I ask my kids that shit every fucking day. How was your day? How are you feeling? You all right? Come here, motherfucker. Let me give you a hug. I say that to my boys. Get your ass over. Come here, motherfucker. Give me a hug. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, I'm like, little one, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, they need that shit. They may act like they don't need it, but deep down inside, deep down in the subconscious and deep down in their soul, there's only one motherfucking daddy. They can have all the stepdads in the goddamn world. There's only one of you. There's only one of you. To them, there is only one of you. Period. Ain't nobody taking my spot. And I'm not going to allow myself to even move from that goddamn spot. I don't give a fuck who said what. Until a motherfucker can prove me different. And even when they prove me different, I'll just make some adjustments. I'll fix it. I need them. I need, as much as these kids sometimes get on my goddamn nerves, I need them. They're a part of my survival. They're a part of my soul. They're a part of everything that I love and I desire. You know what I'm saying? Didn't mean to get all deep there and shit, but
Oh no, you good, man. You good. Like
God
that's
damn it,
on some
man.
real shit though, you know? Like I guess in a lot of ways, man, I feel like, I feel like I've let them down. I feel like I've been a disappointment and things like that. And I don't have any excuses. You know what I'm saying? I could save my life and this, that, and another. And that was a huge portion of it. You know what I'm saying? I barely survived my life. And I know there's no excuse for me saying like I could have easily went back and things like that, but I didn't want them to get hurt for the shit I was doing.
Right. And your
You
feelings are
know what I'm
valid
saying?
as fuck. You know that. Our kids are what did you
Yeah, I
say?
know. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I can't make excuses. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking about at those moments and things like that because I haven't been doing what I've been doing for a long time. But of course, I've had my ups and downs and struggles and shit like that. And I never wanted them to see me like this or like that. Um,
They
but
got to see you
like,
good, bad, or indifferent. They have to see you.
right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. That's Mando, bro. That's Mando.
Yeah,
If we was
I agree.
gangbanging, boy, you get a whole violation for that one. You know what I'm
Oof,
saying?
oof.
E. Johnson said, our kids are out tomorrow. He says, our kids are out tomorrow, and tomorrow is now. Come on now.
Mm.
Talk to him, E. Johnson. Shout out to E. Johnson, our most loyalist motherfucker on the Unwrapped channel.
Big shout out to
My
E.
man's, and he's in the chats tonight, boy. Sparked his ass.
Yeah, I see. Hey, he should have came up here and joined in with us.
Right. He's only done that like once. He hopped in one of. He's
We're
hopped
gonna have
in
to,
one
we're gonna
of.
have to get him
What you
up
call it?
here and let him officially introduce himself because I would love to meet him. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out. Thank you, E. Yeah, we'd love to meet him, have him join in on one of the conversations that we have, man. I think that
Yeah,
would
that'd be
be
dope.
fucking phenomenal.
I want to say something
You
to
know?
you, Tony, real quick before we end this. I said what I said to you, and I ain't gonna take it back. I said what I
I ain't
said
worried about
because
that.
no. Hear me out, bro. Because I got to get this thought out. I mean what I say to you because as a man who didn't have a father in his life and wished upon that shit even as a child, as a man with children, all of us here on the panel have kids. I say these things to you, man, because hearing you say that broke my motherfucking heart on some real shit. And I wouldn't be the friend to you if I don't tell you these things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And if I don't hold you accountable for what I felt like was nonsense. It may be your truth and it may be your reality. It may be, I don't know how you perceive it, but I'm going to tell you from where I'm sitting, don't do that shit. Please don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because God forbid anything happen to you, you don't want to leave this God-forsaken planet without putting your best foot forward towards those girls, man. And shit, nigga, don't do that, bro. that shit breaks my motherfucking heart. Cause yeah, man, don't do that. They little do you fucking know they need you. Every little piece of you, they need you, nigga. The good, the bad, and the ugly. They need that. Who in the fuck else is going to be able to tell them where not to step and who not to step to and who how to duck and dodge this and dodge that? Who better to tell them than the man who has ducked and dodged bullets, knives, everything? Who better to tell them? No, baby, don't do it that way. Don't do that. Tony, don't do that. God damn. With that being said, so we're gonna conclude this. At the end of the show, we have like final thoughts, and I'm gonna start with you, Lincoln. What are your final thoughts? And also give them all your socials and everything so how they can contact you.
My final thoughts is, man, whatever you're going through, leave it at home when you walk out the door. Don't ever forget that everybody's going through something, and just a kind word could change somebody's life for the better. And that you could reach me at Lincoln Kyle Kincaid on Facebook, or you can reach me at my email, Community Progress or Community Revolution in Progress. Progress has 2 E's at gmail.com. You're struggling with anything, mental health, going through it with in a relationship, whatever, man. My ears are always open. Just do me a favor. Don't try to deal with, especially during this time of year, it by yourself, because people just don't understand. 80% of suicides are done created by men because they don't have nobody to talk to. So know that for all human beings, and I'll put it that way. That way, it's not gender related. All human beings. If you ever feel that you ain't got nobody or you're alone, just know that you always got me. So, like I said, you reach out if you need. I'm always here.
Thank you, Lincoln. Tony, my man's.
Oh
Last
man.
thoughts.
Always surround yourself with people that will hold you accountable, because you never know when you need it. And I'm around some brothers right now that have truly held me accountable, and I love them for that and things like that. So surround yourself with people that have your best interests and will hold you accountable in this world.
My man's. Tell them how to get a hold of your podcast and where they can see it at and other things that you got going on, Tony.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thank you. You guys can find me on Facebook, Tony Lynch. You can find my groups up there, Memories of Us or the Global Grief Network. You can find me on Instagram, Men's Grief Support. You can find me on LinkedIn as Tony Lynch. You can find me on TikTok. I don't really know the handle to TikTok just yet, not off the back anyway, but I am on TikTok. You guys can find my YouTube channel, which is Grief Let's Talk About It podcast. Just type that in, you'll see my face come up there. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to, but you guys can go in there and check out a lot of the videos and stuff like that. I do have a website, which is www.mensgriefsupport.org, which is my nonprofit. Go in there and check out some stuff. Also, I have a magazine called Grief Talk Magazine, which is first started 4 months ago, and we're still going. Go in and grab a digital subscription and enjoy some of the enjoy the articles, enjoy the events that we have going on, and check out the resources that we have going. We try to make it easy for people to find that support. Um, and so, yeah, please go check it out. Thank you.
Yeah. Salute to all of that. Salute to you too, Lincoln. Thank you so much for being on the show. Tony, you already know I fucks with you, man, the long way. I love you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to end the show by saying something that I always say. I think I say it every damn show, but Give yourself some grace. You know, breathe. It's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? It will be all right. And forgive yourself. We don't even know how important that is in our journey, in our lives, and in the people that we encounter, and the people that we deal with on a daily basis. Forgive yourself. That way you can forgive them. And keep it pushing. Protect your energy at all costs. Because the transference of energy is a real thing. Protect that shit. And this has been the check-in. And we'll be back next Sunday. I hope to see you guys again next Sunday, or anytime you both have the link. You can pop in at any show. Have a happy holidays. Unwrap the channel. We have multiple shows. We have a bunch of new shows that are coming up. So we're going to be having things going on 7 days a week on this motherfucker. And this is a little something for everybody. But this show right here, this shit ain't going nowhere. Every Sunday at 8:30. It's the check-in. If you need to talk, you need to hear something, if you just need to listen, if you need some information, whatever the fuck it is, we're here. And this is why we do it. With that being said, about this bitch, be safe, love your people, reach out to somebody. They may need to talk to you. Peace.